What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 57 Civ AI only World Battle. We don't have that many Civs left anymore, but it certainly was at the start, and it's been very exciting. I hope you're enjoying it. I think this is one of the best battles yet. Definitely the most balanced. I think every continent has sort of given us maybe a contender for the top, maybe not to win, but for the, a top 5 Civ has probably come out of each continent. South Africa is, maybe I've underrated South Africa a bit. Maybe they deserve to be a bit higher. I don't know. I think in Africa there's more good Civs and just not a really strong one just yet. But they're so close, as I've reiterated a few times. But North America's got the Iroquois. South America's got Brazil. Belgium in Europe is doing really good. And I guess if the Huns are considered in Europe too, you could throw them in there. Korea and Japan and Mongolia doing great in Asia. And Samoa is probably doing quite well statistically as well. And obviously, there's only 3 Civs in Oceania. There's not a huge amount of pressure. You could argue just, for this game's sake, they're more part of Asia than anything. I got excited when I was about to record this episode. I thought I hopped into my 2 Sicilies Let's Play for a second because it spawns looking at Venice, because that's where, the game still sort of thinks I'm Venice and my settlers should be here. So it always spawns like looking over this part of the map. And I was just like, whoa, where have all these units come from? It's my lucky day. But no, this is not the Let's Play as much as I wish it could be. Because in this game, the 2 Sicilies are not at war with everybody. If you want to see me fighting like 40 other Civs, maybe 40 is an exaggeration, but 25 is probably an accurate number. If you want to see me fighting that many Civs at once and just struggling to trade with anybody, then check out that Let's Play. It might be the one for you. It was the same scenario as this. The only difference is that Persia was not included, and I'm playing on a lower difficulty. That's the difference. And some of the bonuses I gave to the Civs were scaled back accordingly to the difficulty. But most of it is identical. There was some issues, like with how I set it up. Sadly, I did get to see the whole map from the beginning, which was frustrating. I'd much preferred not to, and it had been the normal game. But whatever, it's quite interesting. It's almost like me playing in an AI-only battle as opposed to playing in a Civ game normally. But yeah, if you haven't checked that out, maybe you've just watched the AI onlys, but yeah, that's quite an interesting one. It's an alternate, it is going to be essentially the alternate battle for this series. I won't be doing an alternate proper one, but yeah, you can, if you want to see an alternate version of this map, then that's the one to check out. It's quite interesting because it's definitely not as ram-packed with action. Well, it is for me, because I'm at war with 20 Civs at the moment, but for everyone else, like the rest of the map's like not just full of settling. It's a bit weird. It plays out very differently at a lower difficulty, I guess. Which is surprising, because I used to run my AI only battle. I guess that was on Immortal, but still, like I feel like Emperor difficulty, it shouldn't be like that, but it is. So there you go. Mongolia versus Austria, that's not so important, but the big war, Benin v Byzantium, that also doesn't matter, although the peace deal will, because I'm sure Babylon will end up being given to Benin, or Antioch here. One of them will end up in Benin's hands, I'm sure. Also, I think my voice is doing okay today. The microphone's still playing up, so I have no idea if these videos are going to be really quiet. I hope not, but I am back to talking at full speed. Maybe in 10 minutes I'll regret saying that, and I'm like, no, actually, we need to stop. But I've done 3 episodes already today of other series, so it should be good, just rolling. When you get into like one of those motivational, just not motivational, but I guess motivated moods, productive sprees, I'm just like, I'm going to get as many done. I also have to get them done by tomorrow morning, so that is, maybe that's like boosting it as well. There's a bit of a mix. Korea did retake the city of Chu, and they have Shanghai down to 0 health, so that could be close. But Mongolia is sort of keeping the melee units away, although there is a tank on the road that could certainly get round the corner and take it. So this is concerning. Japan's staying peaceful at the moment, which is probably a good move. Oh, and the Chinook have grabbed another city here in the Hawaiian island chain. We are running out of places to settle, since some other Civs. The Inca picking up a city down here. So yeah, there is like the final few little spots being taken that might lead to some wars just with Civs that aren't too happy. But that's about it. And here we go. Biggest militaries. We don't get to see this too often. Korea, well out in front at 100,000. 372 troops. I don't know if it's troops actually, but it's a different number to what the Info Addicts gives. But it does have 100,000, whatever it is. Military power. Japan in second. Miles in front of everyone else as well. In fact, they are further ahead of everyone. Oh no, sorry. The same distance, I think, if my maths is correct there, between Korea and Japan as there is between Japan and the Iroquois there in third. But wow, Japan, that is impressive. Brazil then in fourth. Attila, very close to Brazil. Mongolia, Belgium, Samoa. All of the 8 Civs that I mentioned are sort of the powerhouses. There you are. They are the top 8 for military manpower. So that's I'm happy with that. Spain then in 9th. They have a lot of units, so yeah, I can understand. Texas is up there too. 2 Sicilies, South Africa, Egypt, Australia, Congo, Benin, Chinook, Songhai, Ethiopia there. That's sort of the top 20. Then a bit more in the bottom 20. Siam down in last place. Big oof. But yeah, Japan is looking very good. They now have their unique planes, the 0. So we'll see how they do. Ooh, what's going on, game? Don't lag, please. Alright, Japan, Great War Bombers. Yeah, Japan is looking great. Lots of boats, lots of units. Looking good. Germany v Byzantium. Again, don't border each other, but don't be surprised when one of these cities gets given over in the peace deal. Byzantium's been given away quite a bit. I mean, if they still held on to... I mean, they lost Mecca by just not defending it. But if they held on to this city and this one, I don't even know where they would be. They would be so much better off. But they still look good. They still have some okay units, but I just can't forgive them. Mongolia retakes the city of Chu and is holding off on losing Shanghai just yet. And they still have a chance. Like I said, Korea has a lot of boats. Not as many land units, so it could go either way. But yeah, we'll see. Mongolia, this is exciting. Obviously, if either party gets too weak, I mean, Japan probably can't. Well, Japan can't go after Mongolia. But if Korea was to get weak enough, we saw that sort of 17,000 troop difference. Japan might consider it. And if they attack Korea, then all of a sudden, Mongolia could really have a chance as well. If those two teamed up, that would be quite a terrifying prospect over there. Is there anything big going on in Europe? Not really. France pieced out with Britain, so that's all come to an end. There is Germany versus Austria. I don't think we'll see much come from this, because obviously, I mean, Austria can't give away any more bad cities either. They gave Salzburg, their only other city, away to the 2 Sicilies. So yeah, they're safe for now. Has Brazil put in another city? No, these are the same, but their population is definitely more spread out now. Sao Paulo shrunk. Salvador still growing. Rio's capped at 34. I'm surprised. I know Samoa has taken the lead quite rapidly. They are growing so quickly. That is insane. It was 36 million like last episode. Oh my goodness. And it was 25 the one before. That is mad. Okay. That doesn't even make like sense, but fair enough. Samoa. Whatever you want. There you go. They are still the biggest. North America, the only real war is the Suvi, the Shoshone. It's sadly not going too well for the Sioux. And the Chinook, the first North American civilization. No, probably not. The Iroquois as well, with Great War Infantry and Texas. So never mind. Quite a few strong civs up here. The Iroquois seem to have the tech advantage, but Japan, of course, now poses a big threat to the nations on the west coast. I mean, California definitely, but Texas will be concerned, and the Chinook will certainly be concerned about the rise of Japan as well. Japan can certainly cause them some problems. I'm going to move a bit closer. Oh, if I move too close to my microphone, my legs, I have to sit like straight. It's just not comfortable. I like to be like just laying back all the way back here. You can't see me, but I'm just like reclined. Very nice. But now it's like appearing as if I'm not talking at all, so I just get very nervous. Let's move the microphone forward as well. Bring it closer to my mouth. That should. I don't know what happened. Like I said, I think I did edit one of these episodes yesterday and the sound was fine, so I think it's good, but it is very nerve-wracking. It's like maybe this 25 minutes will be completely thrown down the drain. We approach turn 180. I didn't even realize. That's pretty close. I said we'd do results at 200. I don't know if that's appropriate. I don't know. Maybe Korea has slowed down a bit more than I thought. Let me know when you would like to vote on a winner. Or obviously when I speed up the episodes is more importantly than the actual winner point, I guess. It's more about how long would you like to watch like these 25 minutes. Nothing being cut kind of episodes. That's what's more important to you know, to me anyway. It's not so important when we do. Well, the results will. Yeah, I guess the results are important, but the results will come at an appropriate time. But we can always do that. There's no difficulty in doing the results. It's how long do you want to watch everything happening. So do let me know. Let's get some. Give me an idea of what people think. Germany versus Burundi. Not too important. New ideology. Who's this? Songhai go in order. Mongolia v Burundi as well. And I think that's the order ideology. Starting to make a bit of a comeback in popularity. They're still struggling. Civil resistance and revolutionary waves. Same goes for autocracy. They're almost all struggling. Apart from just maybe some of the more isolated islands. Indonesia, Britain, Australia. The Inca, it seems like the isolated civs are okay. The freedom civs are both content. They're just happy living life, both with pretty high tourism. Bear in mind, yeah, now for the first time we've sort of, oh wait, no, yeah, a lot of the high tourism civs have now picked. Brazil is first, but that is based on golden ages, if I'm not mistaken, and their unique ability. That drops down to like around here once they're not in a golden age, and then doubles back up again. South Africa is normally the leader of tourism, and they're up there in freedom. And it's quite interesting. So the people of this world like to go and visit Brazil. That's what we know. I never really thought about it like that. I just look at it as some game mechanic. But yeah, we can look at it a bit deeper. Brazil, pretty good tourist destination. I don't think there's any surprises here. I guess the autocratic Japanese Empire, who's been at war quite a lot recently, is probably a surprising holiday destination, but there you go. But Belgium, South Africa, Brazil, those kind of make sense. Samoa, even though it's autocratic, does look quite nice. About to go into negative happiness, though. Oh no, sorry, drawed themselves back. They already were negative, so they've got it back to 0. Songhai, I guess, but again, some pretty brutal conflicts with Mali. India, no ideology yet. I don't know, I guess the last untouched place. Not many. The Mayans, Byzantium, Austria and the Shoshone, Ethiopia, the Celts there, Carthage, Morocco, Persia and Siam, Harappa, and then Venice is me, obviously, so I won't be getting one. But there you go. Those are the civs. Nothing else happened that turn. That's quite sad. Mongolia yet to reconquer the city. Oh, those rivers are brutal, because you have to basically spend a turn on this tile and on this tile. Yeah, that is rough. Without a bridge as well. Although that might just be because I'm on really low graphics. That might be what that is, don't worry. I'm sure they could get through. Oh, Korea's definitely going to get Shanghai too. So Mongolia, it will be a 2-city trade. Yeah, I don't really know if there's been a winner here. Persia versus Austria does not matter. Russia v Austria doesn't matter either. But it's nice to see Russia doing their part. Novgorod is one of the biggest cities in the world now at 25. That's quite impressive. They're still up here. It's bigger than any of the Huns. Oh no, Attila's court is at 27. Okay, we'll let them off. I'm surprised Attila's not gone after them again. It would be it would be a difficult war. They have got a lot of units, but it would essentially make you really strong, and it's a free hit. Byzantium versus Austria. That would have mattered not all so long ago, but Austria were thinking in advance. They were playing some 4D chess. They just pieced out, they knew Byzantium would attack, so they were just like, yeah, let's get rid of the city anyway to the Sicilies and screw both of us. We'll go down together. Carthage also versus Austria is not so important. Carthage did peace out with Attila. That did not matter at all. Morocco has so many units for such a small civ. Shoshone versus Austria. That's the one we were waiting for. Not so important, that one. But there you go. We've got it. Could you imagine if the Shoshone just sent everything over? Got open borders through like the Iroquois, the Sioux, Texas. Came all the way across the Atlantic. Through all the different civs that have blocked the Strait of Gibraltar, Morocco, Carthage and Spain. Open borders with all of them, through the Sicilies and Belgium, up to Austria, and just took them out. That would be hilarious. Congo versus Austria. Again, not super important. I don't even know what the Congo are up to. What are you doing over here? I mean, when you attack Burundi, I wasn't expecting this, but this is pretty high IQ. I thought you'd just waste units going after this city, which you kind of are. You do have planes now. Triplanes, not super useful, but I guess somewhat helpful. South Africa would be really useful if they joined in. But yeah, I mean, if Congo gets this and connects it to this city and then comes from both sides, then maybe there's a chance they get this, and then, yeah, you block off South Africa. That's not the worst play. Indonesia piecing out with Harappa, and the Chinook piecing out with Harappa as well. Harappa has survived. No one really coming after them. They look fairly strong. I don't know, that weak. They have the same sort of technology as India, so they're not really in any trouble, I guess. I don't even know who could take them out at this point. I'm sure someone will eventually, but it seems unlikely at the moment. Atomic era for Belgium. Probably the first in Europe. They now have some battleships, but there are so many boats up in like the North Sea and the Baltic Sea. Even having just a little tech advantage is probably not enough. Okay. Chinook, You might be opening Pandora's box here, because once the Iroquois gets through, who knows what happens. But there we go, the Iroquois, who've spread out a little bit since their failure against the Shoshone. They don't really look ready to attack anyone. I don't know where these boats are going. Somewhere, but yeah, they're not really ready for this. But that is awkward for the Sioux, who are already fighting the Shoshone. It could lead to the fall of the Sioux if they're not careful. And the international games has been completed. It won't let me see who finished that, but congratulations to whoever did. There'll be some nice bonuses in there for you. Germany, India. Gandhi has entered the modern era, so just one era behind Belgium. New research agreement. Okay, who's that between? Iroquois and Morocco, because they're so similar on technology, those two. Yep. Very close to each other. Demographics list still staying the same. The Iroquois still dominating these four, surprisingly. Korea still up there for soldiers and technology. Samoa seeming to be adding about 1 million people per turn at this rate. And there we go, Shanghai. Oh, okay, it must have fell to Korea without me noticing, but Mongolia did take it back, and I'm guessing Korea is going to take it back now, because it's their turn. Straight after Mongolia, essentially. Watch it just not happen. There we go, yeah. So Korea coming out of this probably better. I mean, a peace deal now wouldn't be the end of the world for Mongolia, just losing 2 cities, but gaining 2 over here wouldn't be too bad, you know. You could live with that, and Korea would be stronger, more consolidated. Yeah, it's not too bad, but if it keeps on going, you begin to worry for Mongolia. And Japan probably need to do something too. Obviously, all these cities in Southeast Asia are still being integrated. Once they're properly being used, then I guess that's going to boost them up on the statistics a bit more than we're seeing at the moment, but still, they're probably going to need to do more with Korea gaining some new stuff. Indonesia versus Siam does not matter. I thought it did, but no, they're not really near each other anymore. Spain v Siam, well, that matters even less, so we won't think about that one at all. The Sioux have denounced Morocco. How are the religions doing? Let's have a look at that while we're waiting for some new stuff. Some new sieges to begin. It takes so long to open the menus. If I do it within a turn, it's crazy. But hopefully that will open soon enough for us. It's like never going to open now. It's quite weird. The Americas don't really have a religion still. I mean, there's little bits coming over. You've got a bit of Islam and Eastern Orthodoxy in the Caribbean. Catholicism from the Celts is sort of present in the northeastern corner. But that's it. But yeah, the biggest religions at the moment, it's not, there's 2 sort of leaders and then there's 2 other big ones. I mean, it's certainly not like the normal 1 or 2 horse race you have. But Hinduism from the Indian Empire, pretty popular across Asia in 39 cities. Catholicism from the Celts now spreading into the Iroquois Empire and in Western Europe with 37. Sikhism from the Goths in Eastern Europe in 29 cities. Islam from the Garamantes in North Africa in 22. Eastern Orthodox from Ethiopia and sort of more Central Africa, or at least like Central, North and South, not Central compared to East and West, is with 14 cities. 4 for Confucianism from Burundi. And Buddhism is sort of falling away from Mali, who are obviously no longer around, with 2. Australia has denounced Morocco. Okay, interesting. Processing turn for the Chinook. Okay, they go last, so we'll be going into a next turn. Oh, the Shoshone are turning this round. I mean, if the Shoshone killed the Sioux, that would really spice things up. If they did all of it, I mean, that's probably unlikely. Texas would probably be the killer blow. If they joined in right now, I think the Sioux would capitulate pretty quickly from that point onwards. Korea here with some more boats in Chinook territory, and it looks like they are trading together, so maybe there's some spare time. Maybe some safety there for the Chinook from Japan. Egypt, not really paid much attention to them. Where are you going? You're attacking the Songhai, apparently. Okay. Not sure I can advise that will go well, but there you go. Benin with their unique buildings. The Ayers, that's pretty cool. Ideology. India joining the Freedom Squad. And they were one of the biggest. They were the biggest one that hadn't picked an ideology, so that's pretty big in terms of tourism. They join India and South Africa. Yeah, if we sort by... Oh, I wasn't at the top, that's why. yeah, there you go. India, freedom. Belgium, South Africa, all going freedom. If they could, like, if they start to really push the rest of the world towards converting, that would be crazy. Because India, another 20 tourism. There's every chance it will start to be influenced just a little bit. I like when you can see who's influencing people. So the Goths are having a revolutionary wave, being influenced by South Africa and Belgium. They're being influenced for autocracy by France, the Huns, Texas, Japan, Samoa, Chinook quite weakly. Strong. Brazil have 3 hammers for order, so I assume they are influencing people more than anyone else. It's quite interesting. But there is definitely a divide. I mean, if you go to, like, let's say, who's influencing Belgium? A little bit from South Africa for freedom, and then a bit for Brazil. But yeah, they're only impacted by the other big tourism nations. Brazil, I bet theirs is quite interesting. No one is influencing them. They do not care. They are just content at all times. Fair enough. It's quite interesting. Who is influencing the Texan ideology? Preferred ideology would be freedom. Actually, let's just see who is preferred in most places. That's probably more useful information. None preferred. Preferred is freedom. Preferred is autocracy. Preferred is freedom. Preferred is autocracy. So it looks like we're going to maybe see freedom and autocracy, although I haven't scrolled over the autocracy nations yet. Is there any autocracy ones that prefer order? No. Seems they all prefer freedom. Okay, there is Australia wants to go to order, but no one else seems to. There's a lot of people influencing California, oh my goodness. A few prefer order, but it does seem as if the game went on long enough and they did convert, you would probably see the order nations flip to autocracy and freedom, and then most of the autocracy nations then continue to flip again towards freedom. So it does seems like order is at the bottom of the pile there. Although a few of the autocracy nations did want to go to order, it was definitely more the other way. I mean, almost all the order nations preferred to switch to something else. So it's not a good sign for that ideology, but there you go. They're trying their best, okay? They're just trying. I don't know if maybe they're having some food problems or other issues that regularly occur in order regimes. I don't know. Maybe. It's nice to see freedom having such a role. It usually just never gets picked at all, and it's been picked here by some of the bigger countries, just a few of them, and they're still having a huge impact on the other ideologies. And yeah, India's extra tourism for freedom, that could really help out, especially in Asia as well. It's got a good covering, like it's almost a triangle between sort of India, Belgium, and down to South Africa. It's like a sort of big triangle. Yeah, that could really influence quite a lot of countries now to join. If they could get like an America's member, I know there's not many left who haven't picked an ideology who are big enough, but someone like the Inca or the Mayans, I don't know, just to join in, then maybe there will be some revolutions soon. Could be. Chinook v the Songhai, not a super important war. Don't see the Chinook suddenly turning up in West Africa and conquering the Songhai city, but there you go. Maybe there's hope. But that'll be it for this episode. So as always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.